Will Smith now available? First question's from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead.
Well, good afternoon. What do you anticipate the atmosphere being like here in a postseason game in the division series, yet no fans other than families? Do you think it'll feel as much as a postseason series as in the past?
Yeah, missing the fans is definitely going to be, kind of more like it's been all year this year. But, it's still going to be an intense game. Had some really intense battles with the Padres this year. And yeah, it should be a fun one tonight.
With Edwin Rios no longer on this DS roster, it doesn't look like you're going to be much of the DH, looking to catch a majority of the games in this division series. What do you anticipate your workload being in this potential 5-game set?
Yeah, I don't know yet. We haven't really had that conversation, but I'm catching tonight, and I'll just go from there.
How much more efficient do you believe your pitching staff needs to be, considering there's 5 straight days potentially with no days off?
Yeah, I mean, they got to be efficient. They got to go out and execute just like every night they've done this year. That's what we're trying to do as an offense, is wear down their bullpen over there, their starters, and really get deep in the pen. So, if our guys go out and execute and not let that happen, we're going to have a pretty good chance at winning the series.
With Walker throwing tonight, what will you be looking for in terms of his effectiveness?
Yeah, I'll be looking for the same usual things. How his fastball's coming out, what's working with the breaking ball, his cutter. Just kind of see where he's at, feel him out, and go from there.
Clevinger gets the start for the San Diego Padres probably 2 times through the order, just based on the workload leading up to this point. In your mind, as a position player, as a hitter, what's the best way to capitalize on any of his mistakes?
Yeah, just like any other at bat, it's, execute on his mistakes, not miss them, and, have timely hits with guys on base, get on base, just, play baseball, play the game of baseball, and that's how we're going to win tonight.
Thank you, Will.
Next question is from Dave Vassay. Go ahead.
Will, have you guys had discussions about how long you anticipate Clevinger being in the game?
Not really. Every starter we're trying to knock out as quick as we can. That's been the whole thing the last few years that I've, been a part of the Dodgers. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to be the same thing tonight. Just get them out of there as quick as possible and get into their pen.
The last couple of days, taking batting practice on this field, playing here earlier in the year, does your approach change as far as hitting in this ballpark because of how big it is?
No, not really. It's deep to center, but in the gaps and down the lines, it flies. But you're not up in the box worried about how deep the park's playing. You're just trying to get a swing on the ball.
But Will, yesterday we saw the team gather in a huddle. It looked like Justin and Mookie were the ones talking. What was the message with that meeting?
It was just, team meeting, just normal stuff. Stay focused. Let's go. Let's execute, and let's win this series.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead.
Hey, Will, with the amount of time between the wild card series and the NLDS, how much of that is spent for you cramming on, information on other hitters and that you're going to be facing? And also, I mean, how much easier is that by the fact that you just probably know these guys as well as any team?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this team a bunch this year. We know them really well. We know what they do well, what they don't do well. But yeah, I mean, we still dug in. And really came up with a game plan together with the coaches, the other catchers, and we're going to go out there and execute it. So that's kind of what we spent the last couple of days doing. And yeah, just prepping for this.
Next question from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey, well, there's some indications last night that Clevinger would be on the roster and probably start game 1. When did you know, and at what point did you start sort of cramming in terms of studying him, and because you guys haven't faced him?
Yeah, no, we haven't faced him this year. I know some guys have in the past, but I don't know. I think I saw on Twitter maybe last night or this morning that he was going to start, and yeah, just started watching a little bit of film, just recognize him a little bit and see what he doesn't do. But yeah, I mean, not much other than he's going to be out there, and we're going to try to knock him out early.
Is it the type of thing where you maybe compare him to maybe guys you have faced, to have sort of a kind of an understanding of what you'll be seeing?
Yeah, I mean, you do that with every guy you face. You kind of lump them into piles that, they're kind of similar to, and you go off of those.
And just with Walker's game one start last week, did you guys have to change the game plan at all? How he was approaching hitters based on how the Blister was feeling? Was there any sort of changes made as you guys went along?
No, we went out. He had all his stuff, and we went out with it.
And just one last thing, how strange is it to have all this time off? It's like, what, 3-4 days between games? You guys as baseball players usually don't get this much time off. Is it going to be tough to get back right into it? What do you expect?
No, I don't. I think we'll roll right into it. We were getting live ABs last couple of days, normal practice, batting practice. No, guys will be sharp tonight and ready to go.
Next question from Cary Osborne.
Will, last year you and Dustin May were both rookies on the playoff roster. Was it intimidating, that first postseason experience, or how did you keep it from not being intimidating, being a guy with limited major league experience?
No, I mean, speaking for myself, I wasn't really intimidated at all last year. Yeah, it was the first time I was in the postseason, but I treated it like any other series we play throughout the year, and I think having that mindset this same year for me is just going to help me, and not let the moment get too big, I guess.
Well, there's one guy on this roster, Victor Gonzalez, who has that opportunity this year. You've caught him a lot this year. What makes that slider of his so good? Yeah,
I mean, it's a sinker slider combo, and it keeps it at the bottom of the zone, doesn't really elevate the ball much. It's firm, it's moving a lot, and yeah, he goes out and just competes and gets a lot of guys out for us.
Next question from Rashawn Haylock. Go ahead.
Hey, Will. If Walker is struggling with the blister, is that something behind the plate you can kind of pick up on ahead of time and figure out ways to kind of work around, or is it something that just happens all of a sudden?
I might get an indication, but he's not going to show it at all. He's a tough guy. He's going to compete. If there is something wrong, he's not going to want anyone to know about it because he wants to stay in the game. So, I mean, yeah, if something's blatantly obvious, I'll have to, kind of say something maybe. But other than that, he's going to go out and do his thing tonight.
Last question from Ron. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Alanna kind of touched on it a little bit. What's your take on playing a home game in a foreign park? You've been there a few days now, but is it really, really different?
I don't think so. Maybe before the game, in the locker room and stuff, but once the game starts, it doesn't really matter where you're playing. You just go out and compete and try to win that game.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, everybody.